Good morning, millennials.
Welcome back to The Toast and happy Thursday. Congrats to all the grads for graduating the week. We have made it to the latter half of the week. The week is almost over.
Congratulating for graduating.
Oh, what?
Congratulating.
I'm sorry. Wait, no. What was that?
Congratulating for graduating Wednesday. I can't say you've graduated the week yet. That's like being in the end of your sophomore year and saying like, I've graduated.
Okay, no. This is what it is. You haven't graduated per se, but you're on your way to the ceremony.
No, it's the beginning of your junior year. I graduated.
No, it's not the beginning of your junior year because it's 4 years and it's 5 days. I would say you're at the end of your junior year. How about that?
Okay.
Because Friday is definitely
senior year.
Your senior year.
100%.
So I guess that would make Thursday like the end of junior year because it's 5-to-4 ratio.
Which is also a good feeling. Like I feel like junior year in high school and in college.
Have you gotten into college yet?
No, junior year in high school you don't get to college in junior year. You do senior year. But you're taking junior year is a hard year. So the end of junior year, honestly, like you've graduated from junior year. Congrats.
It's true. Like the toughest is behind you. And that's kind of very Thursday energy.
100%.
Okay. Glad we figured that out. So happy Thursday, everyone.
It feels like
Welcome
the end
back.
of junior year.
It does.
What's everyone doing this summer?
What were you like your junior year? Let's talk high school.
We're talking high school. Ooh, dark times, my friend. Yeah, that was a rough time in my life because like we had just moved. Our father passed my junior year. So I was just like...
Oh, really? Yikes. I don't think that's true.
Our sophomore year?
Actually, no, because I was a freshman. So we were 2 grades?
We were 2 grades apart.
Yeah, okay, correct.
But like sophomore and junior year are really a blur for me because it was like both hard years. So I'm just like struggling to like stay afloat junior year, you know?
Yeah.
However, senior year, like things definitely got brighter. Like I lost a little weight.
Always helps.
Always helps a bad situation.
No, actually, like I'm noticing from the time like before we took winter break to the time after winter break, like I really have significantly, in my opinion, changed. Like being on camera every day, like I can't even watch our clips. Like I know it's all happening, it's all good, but like I'm definitely like fat now, and I'm fat again too, which is like even more complex.
Well, a number of things to say. Like one, at least you have an excuse. Like I look different from winter break, and it's like just inflammation, as they say. I've started taking turmeric every day. That's how desperate I am.
You feel different, but you don't look different.
Well, I would have said, "Oh, thanks, Trudy. That's really sweet." Except I weighed myself this morning, and the numbers don't lie. The girls are climbing. However, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing my Sakara. I'm drinking my water. I'm having my protein shakes. Like I'm staying active. Like it's not going to change in 3 days. So like you just have to be consistent about it. I shouldn't have even weighed myself because it like brought morale down when like I was feeling a little less inflamed. I was.
There is something exciting, even like if you're not actively like seeing any results. Getting on the train.
I'm on the path. Like I'm on the right path. I'm doing everything I should be doing. I'm really sticking to like my resolutions no matter how many times I have to pee during the day. This is my first cup of coffee of the day. Usually I'm almost done with my second. So we're practicing better habits. And now we wait. We got to put in the work. It doesn't happen overnight. I feel like everyone just thinks, oh, I had a good day. No.
Yeah. If only it were that.
I got to live this way for a while. So at least I'm on the train, as you said.
I went out to dinner last night to like one of my favorite Italian spots with Ben and his parents. And, you know, when I recommend a restaurant, like I'm not like a restaurant recommender.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
I do. Neither am I.
So all week, everybody was like, where should we go? Where should we go? And everybody defers to me because, like, you know, I made everybody eat at 6 o'clock and I'm very particular. Like, so they were like, where does Trudy want to go? Where does Trudy want to go? So I decided, you know, on this place, and it's a place that I like. And it's actually a place that I love. And I just felt like Ben was committed to disliking it. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because tell me who orders this. And of course he didn't like it. He ordered the artichoke and pistachio ravioli. Like, what?
That is something that you order for the table to try. That's no one's main dish. That's like, oh, that sounds interesting. Like, let's all have a bite and try that. That's not a meal.
No, Ben and his dad split 2 different raviolis.
Okay, what was the other one?
They're both ravioli.
Okay, but was the other one like sauce and cheese?
No, it was white. It looked like an Alfredo ravioli. It's just crazy to have 2 raviolis, which ravioli is like, it's a risk.
I just feel like Ben shouldn't be eating Alfredo. Like, I know he's not allergic, but he should treat it as if he is.
Do you not know Ben's chicken Alfredo story?
I do, and that's why he should never eat Alfredo again. And he's not allergic. He just had like a really bad reaction, and like he should treat Alfredo as if he's allergic.
It's actually a really good point. I treat Alfredo as if I'm allergic. 1, because I think it's disgusting, and 2, the sheer image of it, even the word reminds me of that Ben story, and I immediately lose my appetite.
Like, I don't do
an
creamy
appetite
white.
suppressant.
I don't do creamy white.
Jackie, I said that at dinner last night. Ben was like, try this ravioli, you might like it. I said, like, white sauce and me.
Creamy.
Like, I said cream-based sauce. We are not simpatico with one another.
I don't do like a white clam chowder. I don't add that like disgusting mushroom can into my cream of mushroom.
Yep.
Like, I don't do white creamy. I do red creamy.
I love red creamy.
I don't do white creamy.
No, both of Ben's raviolis that showed up were white creamy base. And so, like, when the meal was done, like, actually everybody liked the restaurant, which made me feel good. But Ben was like, it was, yeah. And I'm like, well, if I went to a restaurant and ordered the worst thing on the menu, I also would think it's okay. Like, why can't you just be normal? Like, everybody got normal things. Like, I got a salmon, pizza. Like, it's like a Serafina type of cuisine. So, like, modern, Italian. Why don't you get, like, a pasta, a fish, like a normal fucking person?
You can't judge the restaurant based on their special.
It wasn't even a special. It was just like a crazy-ass dish.
Even though I think some people say that you should judge a restaurant based on their special. But that wouldn't make sense to me.
Not this place.
And also, like, not me. Like, I'm a consistent, like, regular 3 things on the menu sort of girl. I'm judging by the Caesar salad and the salmon and the French fries.
Fun fact about me, I have never, and I want to say that confidently, probably will never in my life order off of the specials menu.
No way. Same.
It does not apply to me. And actually, in my award-winning comedy special, I had a whole bit about this because, like, it's so awkward when they come over and tell you. Like, they come over, and I want to be rude. I'm just going to be like, seriously, don't waste your breath.
Like there should be a section or, like, a placard you could put up, like, reserved, or it's, like, not interested in specials, knows what she's ordering, always gets the same thing.
And, like, even Ben, who's really experimental, so many of the times, like, 75% of the specials we can't eat because it's like pork or shellfish. So I never want to be rude, but I just want to, like, put my hand up and be like, seriously, don't bother.
Like, save your breath.
It's a lot of work for them to, like, memorize all that shit. Like, seriously, scram.
Like, I don't know where to look.
Yeah, and every now and then they say, do you want to hear the specials? And I think that we should embrace that more in restaurant culture, because no, I don't.
Yeah. Well, what?
I know you don't want to tell me
what
either.
if, like, that night the special is, like, chicken nuggets and French fries?
But it's like, the thing is, like, what if? But it's not.
I know. I always am like, yummy.
Oh my God. And you always want to engage.
Yum.
It's so rude. When people are, like, scrolling on their phones or, like, not listening, it's so rude. So even though there is seriously not, you couldn't pay me to order one singular thing, I'm listening so intently. I'm like, oh, is that grilled or baked? Like, who gives a fuck? I am so.
How's that prepared?
It's so rude not to. And I'm always like, oh, Ben, you would like that. Like, it's kind of like a skit for me.
Totally. I always say to my husband, oh my God, you love scallops.
I was like, oh, write that down. Like, yeah, Ben, clock that.
Yeah,
like,
if nothing else looks good.
And Ben, like, doesn't take it as seriously as I do. Like, the commitment to like engaging in the
I think that's just being
rude.
A woman and being a people pleaser. It's so gendered.
It's me being an empath.
1,000%.
Yeah, I feel things so deeply.
1,000%.
Oh, I don't know how we got here, but I had a
You
great
went to
dinner.
a restaurant.
Yeah. And I don't really love eating out these days, but I try to eat out, like, once a week because Dr. Fox told me to have salmon once a week, and I can't have salmon at home. Like, it goes against everything I believe in.
It's really pretty good. If you have,
home?
Yeah, if you've got a good fishmonger, like, I'll send you the seasoning. I put on a little spray with olive oil, the seasoning that I like. So good.
No,
and you
for
can,
a
like,
multitude of reasons,
you can cook
can't.
it, like, to a crisp the way we like.
No,
I know
I
the
can't.
smell in your house is probably the reason why.
The smell is huge, and also these days I'm actually trying to be a really good neighbor because I have big plans for the rest of the year in terms of, like, not being a good neighbor because I refuse to bring a stroller into my house. Like, the hallway will be my own personal stroller garage. Mm-hmm. And so
you got to get your karma up.
Yes, and my next door neighbors have 2 wiener dog puppies that are seriously, like, I could hear them barking in my sleep. I haven't said a word. Like, I am going to be such a delight.
Yeah.
Because also, like, the room that I think will be the baby's room, like, pushes right up against, I think, their master
They'll
bedroom.
be hearing, there'll be a lot of noise.
If I start cooking salmon, that's like a demerit in my column when I'm trying to get gold stars with the neighbors. Oh, speaking of gold stars, is the School of Rock story a story today?
It is.
Okay, good.
It is a story.
Oh, not a story, but need to talk about, like, oh my God, me and Ben, when we both woke up, we were glued to our phones. Like, overnight, so much bad news and, like, so much crazy footage coming out of LA and the California wildfires. So I don't know, like, it seems like there's no end in sight. And I think that they were making a lot of progress yesterday. And then overnight, new fires in Hollywood Hills, which is, like, where, you know, a lot of people live. It's like a lot of high-rise buildings, a lot of houses. was engulfed in flames. So it seriously never ends. It's a shit show watching. It's so sad.
It's so
like
sad.
The only thing on my phone.
No, I think the last thing I saw, I don't know how recent it was, but it's like 0% contained because like the winds are so strong they can't fight it from the sky, which they need to do for a fire like this.
The Santa Ana winds.
The Santa Ana winds. But it's like, it's so sad and heartbreaking. And agreed, I'm like glued to my phone and it's everything that I'm seeing. But it's also so frustrating because you're seeing like how many things have gone wrong and how unprepared the city was when like this is the big thing that they have to worry about. And I just feel so bad for the people that live there and how frustrated and heartbroken they are when a lot of this was preventable. Not the entire thing, as we see this happens often, but the scale that it's reached, the level of unpreparedness, no infrastructure to the budget cuts for the fire department, no water in the hydrants. Your biggest threat to your city is fires, and there's no water in the reservoir for the hydrants.
It's actually disgraceful mismanagement. It's negligent, and it's criminally negligent. Like seriously, when all this is said and done, like investigation, I feel really, obviously, I think a lot of people are having a hard time, you know, empathizing because you look at LA, Hollywood, and you're like, oh, it's just rich people. And it's actually really not, especially like if you look at just the suburbs of the Palisades that have been completely wiped out. It's just regular people. And it's regular, you know, there are poor areas, there are rich areas, there are people who have lost fire insurance. Like it's really devastating. And it's not just like celebrities who can build their houses back. And even people who can build their houses back, like that's years of memories and your family. Like it's just devastating. And there's so many different, things to think about. Like, and then you think about like, you know, all the forestation and all the animals like fleeing with nowhere to go. It's just, it literally is, it's too sad to even think about. It's biblical. The video, like the sky, it's so, I don't even know what the right word is.
And I think at this point, there's like really no one in that area who's not affected by it because it just keeps growing and going into places where they don't experience fires.
Right.
So a lot of celebrities have already lost their houses. And
there's like a running list of like notable people who have lost houses, but it's beyond that. It's like thousands of just also
regular, right. But as we talk about celebrities, like that's really what's going on with celebrities. They're also like evacuating their homes.
Evacuating, raising money. There's not a lot of like, you know,
it's crazy to me today, but that people are raising money for like LA public services because they need money when like LA, they pay the highest taxes in the country. Where is the money? No, like where is the money?
No, I know. And it makes you like so, and situations like this, like people really like bad faith actors take advantage of like people who are just wanting to, people who live here, like who want to donate and send money for meals. And it gets so, they're already corrupt.
Looting and stealing from people who have evacuated their homes. I've seen videos of people setting fires.
Me too. No, and that's, by the way, someone was just actually telling me about this documentary about the devastation of Hurricane Katrina and how it literally, half the devastation came in the days after. There was no power. It was lawlessness. And it was like the most, what's the movie? The Purge. But like, it was really like crime beyond the most violent crime you could think of. Like, it's like the darkest days in history. People don't even talk about that when they talk about Katrina because they just talk about like the Katrina.
Yeah.
And so it's something that happens during like sort of chaotic times. And it's fucking disgraceful. It's the absolute worst of humanity, and it's like embarrassing to even be the same species as these people.
It's so true. So like for people who are still in their homes, who haven't evacuated, who have lost power, it's so scary. It's just on so many different angles and levels. Like it's just a horrible situation. It's so frustrating, and it didn't need to be this bad.
It didn't need to be this bad. It's so true. And so everyone, I'm seeing like so many celebrities like speaking out who are mad. If I lived in LA, like I'd be fucking mad too. I get it.
Yeah.
Look at me and my congestion tax. Like nothing's even happening to me. I'm fine.
Right.
But so it's frustrating, and it's
it's so direct, right? Because like these budget cuts they happen. Someone made that happen. Like it's very the accountability. We don't have to go searching. Like who could it be? Like it's the mayor and the governor,
right?
And the people that they put in place. Like incompetent.
It's disgraceful.
Incompetent at best, nefarious at worst.
Criminally negligent.
Yeah, that's
kind of my phrase of the day.
It's a good one.
It is, and I don't know where I pulled it out of. I just like I don't feel like I don't think I've ever used it before. I must have seen somebody else like raging about it on Instagram and copied it.
Right. Okay.
That's so me.
You're getting the word out.
The stories today are
good. They're pretty good. I think we'll have fun with them.
Yeah. So important to have fun.
It is important to have fun. So I feel good about that. If you want to get into them, I guess we can. Yeah. Time flies. I can't believe like I feel like we just sat down, but yeah, no, it's time.
That's so us.
Except I will say the new episode of The Redheads came out. That's the other new big news of the day. Really great episode. The book is like a really good book, and I think a lot of people really enjoyed it, and we will like ruin it for you and like poke so many holes in the book. Yeah. But that's what we do, you know?
That is also kind of speaking of big episodes that came out. Jackie and I released a new episode on our Patreon last night, a video and audio episode. We haven't done like a Q&A in a while, and there were so many questions, like wide ranging from like a lot of people freaking out about Turdy's maternity leave to just like random influencer like type stuff. So we recorded an episode. It's out now. So if you're looking for more content to get you to graduation day,
yes,
check that out at patreon.com/toast.
That was a good episode, like a State of the Union. That's what, like, how I think of the general Q&As. Like, catch up with your girls, ask us anything.
So good to always be checking in with one another.
Yes, it is. So now, without further ado, here are the Fast 5 stories that you need to know.
And the Fast 5 stories that you need to know are brought to you by Wayfair. I feel like the name on our lips recently has been Wayfair ever since your major renovation. I am also moving studios. I forgot to tell you guys, like I actually booked movers, and Jackie and I were shopping last night on Wayfair. She was sending me some stuff that I'm going to need because it's kind of like a bigger space. So after all the holiday hustle, there's nothing like giving your home a little TLC. So whether you're just tidying up, clearing out, I know that's a lot of people's New Year's resolutions is to like make their spaces, like storage rooms that you've been like treating like crap, making them beautiful, like your guest room. And Wayfair is a fabulous place to shop. They've got everything that you need, and it's all within your budget. They have a huge selection of home items that makes it really easy to find everything that you're looking for, especially if you're working within certain budgets or certain measurements. Like they have such specific filters on the website. Like sometimes it's so frustrating to find something perfect and you're like, oh, that desk is too big. But you can literally specify and filter your results so specifically. It's amazing.
By size. For your room, I needed a 25-inch nightstand max, and so I was able to go to nightstands 21 to 25 inches.
It's really brilliant. Like they have everything from really like affordable to super luxe. So if you're really looking for anything, sometimes you go to a room and you want something like really cheap here, but something more extravagant there. You can do one big order at Wayfair, which I love. I got a whole
Schumacher wallpaper from Wayfair. They had the most amazing selection of wallpaper.
It's free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff. So give your home the refresh that it needs with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. Their commercials are getting better and better and more star-studded. Do you agree?
Yes, but I feel like I am their commercial.
Today's episode is also brought to you by Boll & Branch. If you really want to change the way you sleep, you need to upgrade to Boll & Branch's 100% organic cotton sheets. They'll help you fall asleep faster with a luxurious softness that puts you in instant relaxation mode. You'll spend every night in buttery, breathable comfort, and you'll feel your sheets get softer with every wash. So discover the difference with Boll & Branch's 30-night guarantee. I feel like a bed refresh is an important sort of event in every woman's life. And Boll & Branch, whether you're looking for like decorative items or, you know, duvet covers, they've got it covered from head to toe. I happen to love Boll & Branch. They're my sheets of choice for the last couple of years. When I asked Jackie to change my sheets in the guest room, I said, ma'am, Boll & Branch, and literally me in bed slept so much better. They have all the sizes, all the colors, like you'll really find what you're looking for whatever like your aesthetic is. And they're popular for a reason, you know, they're good. They're really well loved. And I love that they help with like temperature regulation. Always, even before I got pregnant, I was always sweating in my sleep. But now like my temperature fluctuations are crazy. So having a partner in bed, and I'm not talking about Ben, I'm talking about my sheets, to help regulate my temperature is really just kind of beautiful. Now's your chance to change the way you sleep with Boll & Branch. Get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com with our promo code TOAST. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com. Our promo code is TOAST, TOAST, to save 15%. Exclusions apply. See site for details. We've worked with them for so many years, and having like so many people tell me that they use code TOAST for their sheets and they like had a fabulous experience makes me so happy. So they're like an OG sponsor, and we love.
Yeah. What was the first sponsor?
Wayfair. You've got just what I need.
I feel like every sponsor was like my vlog.
Yes, it was giving Jackie, not to make everything about us, but like it is.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Our first story, not to make everything about us, but it is, because yesterday Claudia predicted that celebrity breakups comes in threes, and the third one dropped right after we recorded, which is that
kind of a big one too.
Yeah, probably the biggest of the three, objectively, but not
traditional celebrity.
No, like for the world, this is the biggest one, but not for you and I. What would you say is the biggest one for you and I, Paige and Craig?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But actually, this is kind of on par with Kaya and Austin, just like level of celebrity-wise. But this was like a Hollywood marriage that I think people really, They were like the exception to the cliche of Hollywood marriages. So that's why it's particularly shocking.
Yeah, so Jessica Alba, and we should actually say who it is as we continue to allude to it. Jessica Alba and her husband Cash Warren are separating after 16 years of marriage. Now, I just want to say, like, 16-year marriage is a success.
Agreed.
In my books. They have 3 daughters together, 3 kids, 2 daughters, 1 son, in case anyone was curious. But TMZ has reported that the two are nearing a divorce after 16 years of marriage. This is the report that they have split. I don't think this would come out of nowhere. I believe this to be true.
As do I, especially when TMZ reports something legal. Like, they're always in the courthouse. Like, they've got the paperwork. Now, this is interesting for a multitude of reasons. One, because it was one of these Hollywood success stories that you just didn't even think about so much anymore. But also because Jessica Alba, while she is like a very successful actress, I would argue she's a more successful businesswoman. Mm-hmm. And her baby company, Honest, I believe reached $1 billion valuation a little while ago. So this is like a big divorce in terms of money too. And we were just talking about how, like, you know, J-Lo and Ben really amicably settled their divorce, because if you think about it, they really are probably worth equal amounts. I wouldn't say the same for Jessica Alba and her man. And that's where it gets tricky.
Right. Because who is he in this world?
Right. He Cash Warren Job.
They met while she was in a movie, Fantastic Four. He was the director's assistant.
Yeah, he's a producer now. So, like I said, different tax brackets.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. And I'm sure he's been holding it down at home.
I mean, that's value. I'm sorry, it is.
But yeah, this will be a big divorce in terms of money.
Yeah, and I feel like it's going to be one of those, you know, she pays a big settlement, but then also like alimony and child support. So I think he's in for a big payday.
Yeah.
And, you know, nothing makes me more sick than a man taking money from a woman, like in a divorce. When it's a woman, it's like, literally scrape every penny you possibly can. If it's a man, when like the woman makes more money and he comes after her for like alimony, child support, there's like a thing like a quality of life, like where like your quality of life shouldn't go down significantly. So like it's really crazy.
I don't know. Get a job.
Yeah, correct. Settlements, like, that makes me
I would never say that to a woman.
Ill.
Like when a housewife has to go from like her mansion to an apartment, give her more.
It's absolutely devastating. It's soul crushing. You hate to see it. And that's because I know if a woman is in a relationship and she's not providing financially, like I know she's providing other things that are of equal value, whether it's children, whether it's homemaking, whether it's sex, like whatever it is, I just know she's making up for it.
I just want to say and children is like,
it's huge.
Up all the way, like huge, all the way up here. Of course, there's other things that she can do as well, but like to give someone children, like that is a full-time job.
And I know she empowers the man to make that money. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't be able.
Behind every great man is a strong woman.
And I know when it's the opposite and like a man doesn't provide financially, not only does he do none of those things, he actually drains the woman and her ability to make even more money.
Yeah.
So I feel sick. Maybe he'll do the decent thing and say, like, you know, I'm all good. But I just, like, who would? He wouldn't. So this is devastating. It's Adele, you know? It's Adele. Remember she gave him $70 million?
However, like, that was a couple years, one small child. Like, this is 16 years, 3 daughters who are going to have to, like, you know, go back and forth.
Jackie, that's even worse that it was only a couple of years and he got $7
Yeah,
million.
no, that's worse. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
This isn't as bad to me.
It's true, because it's like a real family.
Yeah, he gave her a lot of love over the years. But I'm actually just surprised that they fell out of love. I saw like rumors or that they had trouble keeping the spark. Like, I'm sorry, it's 16 years. Like, it's not about the fucking spark, my friend.
Not only that, but like if you're getting divorced, yeah, obviously you have no spark. Like, I hate when people say like obvious things.
No, but it's like, you're not getting divorced because spark.
No, everything didn't work out, but they still have so much spark. What?
Anyways, I'm sure like they'll start to share more, but also like with the fires going on,
yes,
I don't think they'll like.
I wonder if like the timing of the announcement sort of is intentional, just to
keep it like
minimize
it, the main story. Yeah, right. I guess so. We'll see.
Well, this is sad. You hate to see like a successful Hollywood marriage end
in a family
because they are so infrequent, but. I'll have to see how I feel once I read the divorce settlement, you know? Am I still sad?
Yeah. Our next story, some big podcast news that I feel like we haven't covered in full, but Khloe Kardashian has launched a podcast in partnership with X and, not to make it about us, Dear Media.
1,000%.
So her show is called Khloe in Wonderland, and the episodes will premiere on X, and then the next day they're available anywhere you get your podcast, distributed by our swirlies at Dear Media. And the first episode dropped, and it is with Scott. But like, she's going, I feel like over the years, like she's done, you know, of course, Khloe After Dark, like
Cocktails with Khloe.
Always has like a little show here or there, but she's going like all in on podcasting now, sitting down with people in her life. Scott, I think, is a good first guest, but also
I think so too, actually.
I think it will be like when I listen, like it will probably be good conversation.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those shows that you tune in based on the guest, because it's not really about Khloe. It's an interview show. So the guests that have been lined up for this season and already announced are like Jay Shetty, Tony Robbins. Now just I'm thinking about it, because like Mel Robbins is doing everybody's podcast.
Is that Tony's wife?
That's what I was just about to ask you,
because
they both do like mantras and shit.
There's no way.
Tony, Mel, or like daughter?
I just feel like Tony Robbins, like...
No, Mel Robbins has actually criticized Tony Robbins' quotes.
That doesn't mean she's not his wife.
Yeah, it's so true. Let's see.
No, they're obviously not married. And I just feel like when I imagine Tony Robbins' wife, like she's not like a girl boss CEO.
They're not related.
Okay.
No, definitely not. Tony Robbins would never let a girl boss CEO into his bed. Are you crazy?
Right. So there's two people with last name Robbins.
No, but they also like do the same thing. It's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. It's probably frustrating. Imagine how they feel.
Yeah, for like their SEO results.
Yeah. But
Wellness Robbins.
Wellness Robbins.
Okay, back to Khloe's podcast.
Trademark it.
Literally.
Robbins
Wellness.
Back to Khloe's podcast. I'm really excited for her because she is a great personality. And that's, you know, when you strip it down, that's why she's so beloved and why she was always beloved back in the day, is because of who she is on the inside. So podcasting is a great medium for her. I love that she's like doing it with X, doing video, of course, because we want to see the girls.
Of course. And I like that her first guest was Scott, because I think they have such an interesting relationship and dynamic. So it'll be for like, you know, for entertainment purposes, it'll be like interesting to watch. But also like he's from her Kardashian universe, but he is a little bit removed from it. So I think it's actually a great first guest. I think that this will be the type of show that like I care about based on the guest, which is a lot of interview shows. Like sometimes you care and sometimes you don't. I do want her to use it a little bit more like for and about herself.
Well, I guess each guest will ultimately like bring something out of her. I feel like I saw a clip where she's talking about how that therapist sold a story about her. So she must be talking maybe with someone about therapy. So I feel like it's not just like question, answer. She's not a reporter, journalist. Like these are conversations. So whoever she's talking to will like bring out something about Khloe. So Scott, they're talking about a couple things, but he is talking about how he doesn't really like talk to anyone or do any press if it's not within the family. Like if it's not the show or if he's not like doing something with the girls, because he just doesn't want like things being like misconstrued. And then the family's like, Scott, what'd you do?
Yeah, I feel like they collectively as a family also got to a level where they didn't have to do press anymore to like sustain their fame and their fortune. And I think for a lot of them, that was an enormous relief. I think Kim likes doing press. I think some of the girls like doing it, but I think for the most part, like Khloe definitely doesn't. I could see Scott not liking it, not wanting to get in trouble or like having things taken out of context. So once you don't have to do press anymore to like sustain your livelihood and your celebrity, I'm sure it's a joy to not do it.
Yeah, Khloe, I think, likes doing it the least. And I actually think doing a podcast like kind of turns that on its head a bit, because now she's in the driver's seat. She asks the questions. She only talks about things that she wants to talk about, but we still get to hear from her.
I feel like when Facebook like lost whatever like their network was, Facebook Watch or whatever, and Red Table Talk went off the air, I do feel like, I don't know how popular the show was, but I know certain episodes like were big cultural moments. I do feel like it left a little bit of a gap in the market for like a talk show run by a celebrity that other celebrities can use as like a safe place to like address stuff. And I actually could see Khloe filling that gap a little bit, because I think a lot of celebrities like her and trust her. And if like you had a big scandal and you had like a bunch of options, kind of how like Olivia Jade went on, or Jordan Woods went on Red Table Talk, I could see like Khloe becoming that.
I think that's
like Jada.
A good comparison and like a good thing for her to strive towards.
Yeah, because like that show was actually really good. It just sucks that it was on Facebook and like nobody cared.
Yeah.
But every now and then when they had these huge guests based on these like huge moments, Olivia Jade, Jordan Woods, it was kind of fabulous. And they also used it for their own drama, which didn't appeal to me, but they had a lot of family drama at the time with, you know, the entanglement, the that rapper August, and they would use it as like a platform to clarify and talk. And Khloe, the Kardashians have always needed that. Like remember when Kim went on that podcast and they choose like weird places to go when they need to explain stuff, things that they, you know are safe. Like remember when she finally talked about Balenciaga really briefly on that random podcast? Like they have actually needed their own media outlet for a while. And it's been obvious that it should be a podcast, and it should have happened a long time ago, because I think they needed it more like over the last couple of years, whether it was hosted by Chris or Khloe.
But they have the show. I guess the thing about the podcast is it's more
But the
immediate.
show has not been real in a really long time. Like, yeah, it has not been.
I guess, but also by the time they address things on the show, it's like we're kind of over it. They haven't been able to solve for like the immediate.
Yeah.
And I think this is good for that.
We had said that like the show should have had much faster turnaround and been a little bit more substantial. We've been saying that for years, and it never would. So at this point, it kind of it became like fiction almost, like fun to watch, pretty girls, do
commercial,
pretty
like Selling Sunset.
Yeah,
like
exactly. It wasn't real. So I love this. I hope it's successful, and I hope she likes doing it, because podcasting is a lot of work, and I think a lot of people end up not liking it. That's why there are so many failed podcasts. Like, not only is it more work than you anticipated, but it's not as rewarding as you would think, and it's actually hard to keep an audience. So if it's not even like doing that well, like I understand why a lot of people start them and don't pick them back up. So I hope she likes it.
Yeah. Agreed. They're also talking about how both of them like are not really dating until their kids are older.
Until each other.
And well, they talked about the rumors and how they're unfounded.
They would never be honest with us.
They just can never do it, which is such a shame.
Why could they never do it, in your opinion? Because I think Kourtney would actually, at this point, be like not only okay with it, I think she might encourage it.
Like, his kids are her nieces and nephews.
But like, so?
I don't know.
No, I hear
it would be like very non-traditional. I also think, I actually think they could if they really fell in love, but they just like, it's like a brother and sister.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like a brother and sister.
Some of us are just
we're still there.
At the restaurant.
Yeah. So that drops today. Enjoy.
So that's the first episode?
First episode with Scott.
Cool.
That the podcast has premiered. So she's off to the races. Go Khloe.
Not crazy about the title.
I think it's cute, and she beat Keeping Up with Sports to the punch of launching a podcast.
No, I forgot to tell you. I sent you a clip.
You sent me a clip, but like there wasn't an episode, Claudia. They have an Instagram page. You sent me the clip. I went to their page. It was the only clip.
Okay, but they had to have filmed something.
I just don't know why it's so hard for them.
Keeping Up with Sports. I'm just searching the podcast app.
Yeah. I think I searched I was ready. I was sat. And you don't think they're
Jenner. Oh yeah, no, the sizzle reel came out March 2024. It's been a year. The reviews are so funny.
Are they doing?
Since the intro, I have heard nothing further. When are episodes coming? That's so funny.
I should follow it so that when the episode drops, I'll be the first to know.
I don't know if it's like a when the episode drops. I think it's more of like if the episode
You don't
drops.
think for the last year, like they've been working on the perfect first episode?
No.
Like,
no, I don't. I don't.
I think she needs to have
so
Lamar
Khloe's, yes,
on.
She's already beating Lamar. That's good.
Are you ready for our next story? Mm-hmm. A bit of an update from yesterday's story about Twitch.
It's the third story, right?
This is our third story, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So Twitch's ex-wife, Allison Holker, is addressing all of the criticism that she's received and saying that she believes Twitch would choose to share his story to help others. So she has shared a statement on her Instagram after facing criticism from her late husband's loved ones and from social media ahead of the book's release on February 4th. She said, to fans of Stephen and our family and friends, I want to be clear that my only intention in writing the book is to share my own story as well as part of my life with Stephen to help other people. Just like you, I never really knew what happened, and even as I'm trying to put the pieces together, I will never really know. If you decide to read the book, hopefully you'll see my intention is to celebrate the love and life I shared with Stephen and our 3 beautiful children, and also the more complex aspects of both of our lives. I hope that by sharing our full story, maybe I can help someone else who might see themselves or a loved one in Stephen. In sharing, I hope maybe they catch some of the red flags that I missed before it's too late.
Okay. I, again, am coming into this saga with really no preconceived notions of any of them. Mm-hmm. And my inclination is like, if everybody's saying you're something, you're something. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
All of former friends, family members, coworkers, like the amount of people who keep, it's almost like someone was waiting for someone to say something. And then the first person said something and everybody felt like it was kind of like a green light to speak their minds. And the amount of people, like the sheer volume of it, I find powerful. I do.
Yeah, I agree. She's very much focusing on this is her story. This is her truth.
And while that might be the case, if you sit down and do an interview and the takeaway from the headlines is all about your husband's addiction, like, I don't know how that's telling your story.
Yeah. And then also when she comes at it with like, I'm helping the next person, it's like hard to say, you know, that's
it is. The thing that I struggle with is like, we really don't know whether this person would want his addiction out there or not. And actually there are members of his family and friends who say there wasn't even an addiction, but let's say that there is, right?
Yeah.
There's no way to know whether he would want it out there or not. So for her to just sort of like make this decision to publicize it without speaking to other people involved, like his mother and his brother, that gives me bad faith energy.
Yeah, it's true.
It's something that impacts everyone. And so to not even have the conversation to get the approval of his family, it feels what people are, you know, what that woman Courtney is saying is like tacky and tasteless. It does.
Yeah. And so much time has passed. People like weren't really, you know, wondering. It's not like there's been myriad documentaries. What happened? Like, you could have just like let him rest in peace.
It's true.
And instead now his name is literally being dragged through the news like in the messiest possible way. It could not be really messier. True. Not only as an addict, but like family drama. His kids, he has kids. Like it's just, it was clean and now it's messy. And was there a need for that? But also maybe she's got bills to pay.
Well, that's the other thing. So I think that we can point to other examples of people who have actually like gotten a lot of fame after loss. And it's this weird line to walk, right? Because a lot of people followed your story. Like Amanda Kloots,
yeah.
When her husband died of COVID, that was like the saddest saga. Like everybody was following. And it oddly like made her a star. You know, she went on to host the talk and she's like a swirly now.
Yeah.
Like, and whereas before she was like a fitness influencer. So it's definitely an odd trajectory to success. And I don't think anybody wants it, but it sometimes happens when your story is as powerful as it is. And I think that Allison saw herself as like a bit of an Amanda Kloots. And I think that she got carried away.
Yeah.
Because the thing I actually really like about Amanda Kloots is like she's always remained really, she hasn't like leaned in heavily to like this weird version of fame that she has and like run away with it. I think like it's an awkward, weird place to be in, and how you handle it will speak volumes of like how people receive you. And I just think these are two examples of people who handled it really differently.
Yeah. However, I haven't been keeping up with Allison Holker for the last 3 years since Tweech passed away, so I don't know what she's been doing.
Me neither, but I hear about her periodically, like just when she talks about.
Yeah.
So that must be like, it's tough when you get rewarded financially, fame-wise, for bringing up your tragedy. And then it's easy to get like kind of carried away and become like tasteless.
I guess for the last few years, like his family and friends have been watching it, like not saying anything, just being like, okay, maybe that's not what I would do. Like that's a little weird. Yeah. Okay. And then the book, and then his journal entry said she's sharing like it's gotten too far.
Yeah.
Understood. Yeah. So the book is coming though. And
that's the thing about books. Like when you announce it, like
they've been printed.
By the time you announce it, that was like the Tommy Fury book, like poor timing. He had to add like an addendum to the memoir he had written being like, yeah, everything I wrote in here is like no longer true. I made a mistake. By the time you announce it, whether there's backlash or anything, it's almost too late. I feel like that happened really to like Jamie Lynn Spears too. By the time she announced it, and also there was so much going on at the exact same time as Britney, it was like, we can't stop this train.
Yes, but actually they changed the title of the book.
Who's?
Jamie Lynn Spears. Remember she announced her memoirs and it was a Britney lyric and they're like, are you fucking kidding? And she changed
You're right.
it. She changed
I guess you could change a lyric because it's the cover.
And then also all of the drama.
Lyric. You could change the title.
A lot of the drama from the book happened from the contents of the book. So the book was published and then there's drama. Like
and the press that she was doing too.
Yeah, but like not before where it's like, wait, can we not have the book come out anymore?
Yeah. Yikes. It's kind of risk. It's a gamble.
Yeah. Are you ready for our next story, number 4?
If it's number 4, that's brought to you by Jenny Kane.
Tis.
Thankfully. So support for today's episode comes from Jenny Kane, which is perfect timing because the new year's here and our wardrobes could definitely use a little bit of a refresh. Jenny Kane is a California brand through and through. Their staples make getting dressed easier than ever before. Think minimalist but effortless and totally refined. So from luxe cashmere sweaters and iconic accessories to elevated versions of all your everyday basics, not to mention the most incredible home essentials too, Jenny Kane is here to help you live your best year yet. And for a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order only when they go to jennykane.com. Use code TOAST15 to get 15% off. Jenny Kane has been like seriously the highlight of my pregnancy, especially It is so cold in New York. The sweaters I'm wearing, like they have to be real sweaters. I can't get away with like, you know, these thin, flimsy sweaters. Jenny Kane sweaters are made so well. And also it's hard for me to feel these days like put together. And I don't have the energy to be put together. So I need the outfits that I throw together for the podcast, like to look nice. And Jenny Kane's really great for that. I have like 4 or 5 Jenny Kane sweaters that I've had for a really long time and that I treat, you know, not like amazing, and they really withstand the test of time. I've had them for many seasons. So I have cardigans, I have quarter zips, I have like that fisherman sweater. That's my favorite one. That one like kind of doesn't fit me right now. Really, Jenny Kane items are it items of the season. So find your forever pieces at jennykane.com. Our listeners are going to get 15% off their first order when they use code TOAST15 at checkout. That's 15% off your first order at jennykane.com. Promo code TOAST15. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about. Today's episode is also brought to you by State Farm. This episode is brought to you by State Farm. So when you get a new car or a new home, the first thing you might find yourself saying is, literally what? Or how is this real? Really, the words you want to be thinking or singing are like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And State Farm is there with the coverage that you need for your car, your home, even boats, motorcycles, RVs, and other things that matter to you. With a State Farm agent, you know that someone is there to help you choose the coverage that you need. And with so many coverage options, it feels good knowing that you can find what fits for you. When you need ways to help, State Farm gives you options there too. So maybe you're like me, who's a technology swirly and you love to do everything on your phone. With State Farm, you can get help on statefarm.com or on their award-winning app. Perhaps you're like Jax, trying to decrease your screen time. You like to handle things in person or on the phone with a local agent. That's what we like about State Farm. No matter what kind of toaster you are, they let you do things your way. So when you need help protecting the things that matter most, remember to sing it like Jax and Claude do. Hit it, Jax.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I feel like both of ours were particularly beautiful today.
I thought you were going to say bad. I was like, okay, watch yourself.
No, I thought like I heard something beautiful in mine and then yours as well.
I always hear something beautiful every time you open your mouth.
Our next story, some lovely news in the midst of all these breakups. The School of Rock child stars who met on the set of the movie are getting married. They got married, 22 years after meeting on the set of the movie. So
no, this is like actually too much to bear.
Angelo
Too much joy.
Angelo Masagli and Caitlin Hale were just 10 years old when they met on the set of the movie. So
Caitlin is the blonde, like sneaky brown noser with a hidden agenda. She sings "Memory" all alone.
Yeah, she's one of Summer's girls.
Oh no, that's Miranda's Cosgrove. She sings that.
Yeah, no, but she's like one of her name is Marta
singer,
in the
though,
movie.
but
She's a backup singer. Yeah.
And then Angelo is classic. You guys know him. He was security, head of security. He was like that really tall, broad kid.
Frankie.
He looks exactly the same.
So does she.
Yeah, it's actually they all do. I was able to recognize pretty much every single one of them that was there. Obviously, notably missing was Miranda Cosgrove.
And Jack Black, but he was on the set of a movie, they said, and he totally like reached out and commemorated it privately and like would have been there if he could have.
Oh, wait, I love that. I thought for sure like he wasn't even invited because of all of them. Like he's literally like a mega star. How did they even get his address?
I don't know, but 9 cast members went to their wedding.
I saw everyone. I saw Zach. I saw I'm Not Cool Enough. I saw the girl on the bass. Cello, you got a bass. I love this story, like seriously, so much.
No, same. It's really cute. They actually like reconnected later in life. They didn't like start dating on the set of the movie.
That's good.
They both like went to college in Florida and connected, went to lunch, and then like there was something there. Was the start of something new.
That's like seriously so crazy and so cute. The thing I can't get over is like when you look at pictures of like kids from high school. I mean, kids from like what were they? They were in like the 5th grade. What are they supposed to be? Third grade?
No, like probably like. Maybe
no, not
middle school. Not middle school. Hold on, I'm sure I could
think they were probably in the 3rd grade.
They were 10 years old.
How old are you when you're in?
It's like seriously, there's no way to know.
Hey Siri, what grade are you in when you're 10 years old? Sorry, I don't understand. Me neither. You're in 5th grade.
No one does.
5th. So where was I going with this point? Oh, you know, like someone you knew in 5th grade, like what they look like now is completely different. Like they're actually irrecognizable. The crazy thing was I haven't seen a picture of any of these people in years. They look exactly how they should look. Like they have the same face, but they're just grown up. It was freaky.
It is. It's so crazy. They look like they just grew. Like
this movie, like I feel like sometimes I was just having this conversation with a friend, like movies that you loved as a kid, like they really don't
Which
hold
friend?
Up. Yeah, I have a lot of friends. They really don't stand the test of time.
She was talking to a friend. They don't.
They don't. And I actually remember, I've seen School of Rock like a bunch of times since I had first fallen in love with it. But actually, during COVID, one of Ben's friends like was trying to celebrate his birthday and there was like nothing you could really do. But you remember how you used to be able to rent a movie theater because they couldn't sell tickets to a movie. So instead they would, I think it was $99 to rent a movie theater. So he rented a movie theater and invited like 20 people. We all sat in this huge theater and you could like bring your own food and drinks and you could choose your own movie. And he chose School of Rock. And like, let me tell you, that movie, like, if I was seeing it for the first time, I would have thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It is a classic, timeless piece of comedy.
No, it is. It holds up. And the older you are, like, the more you understand. And just like, it's so good.
And then the ground it laid for so many celebrities. Like, obviously, that was a big moment for Miranda Cosgrove. Ned Schneebly is the creator of White Lotus. Sarah Silverman is his miserable girlfriend. Like,
Joan
there are a
Cusack.
lot of people. Joan Cusack, yes.
But I also, then in seeing this picture and this wedding.
The child stars, like, kind of went nowhere.
But they also look, like, happy and
they look well-adjusted.
thriving.
And I actually think they all went on to lead completely normal lives with just this like fun fact about themselves.
So I wonder like where they're maybe just they petered out. But so she is an OBGYN sonographer and he works as a music product counsel for TikTok. I don't know what that means. Music product counsel.
Okay, so it sounds like they both went on to do things like their characters were going to do. Like
life imitating art.
He was really into like the industry of the music industry, like sort of from afar. Mm-hmm. And she was, what does she do? Oh, she's an OBGYN. She was always a woman who supported other women.
1,000%.
I could see it.
Yeah.
She's very pretty. She looked beautiful on her wedding day.
She's a sonographer. You should go see her. I think that they live in New Jersey. They got married in New Jersey.
Oh my God. Well, the girl who played the bass, like she had the most Instagram stories. Like she was filming the entire thing. Like the wedding looked so fun. They were all at the same table. Like it was seriously too much. It's kind of a good premise for a movie.
Claudia, I was just thinking that, like that movie Table 19.
Yeah. But they all get back together from like this movie that they shot as kids. And
yeah.
Like, yeah, I like it.
I like it too. Maybe that's like the School of Rock sequel. Like 2 of the classmates are getting married.
2 things. They need to never make a School of Rock sequel. Like sequels ruin things. They made it into a Broadway show and that's fine. Like just leave it alone. 2, when I was on my way to Florida, actually, I was like seriously going to faint in the back of this car. So I pulled over in some random town in New Jersey on my way to the airport and I got pizza. And while I was driving through town, it was like this actually very cute, quaint town. There was like a music school, like an after school program in town called the School of Rock. And it had like the same exact logo. And they like do guitar lessons and drum lessons like for people in town. It was so cute.
Oh, cute. I thought you were going to say that you passed by the Park Chateau Estate and Gardens in East Brunswick because that's where they got married.
I didn't. I mean, I might have, but I don't know.
So mazel tov to the happy couple.
And thank you like for sharing this joy with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Our fifth.
So if you want to be the teacher to me, well, baby, you just better forget it. Oh, and the original music from that movie was amazing too. Rock got no reason, rock got no rhyme. You better get me to school on time. Yeah, so good.
Yeah, so good. Our fifth and final story. If our last story celebrates the best of the industry at its best, the School of Rock and the love. Our fifth story celebrates the worst because a new docuseries on the fall of Diddy is coming to Investigation Discovery on January 27th and 28th. It is called The Fall of Diddy, and it will cover the sexual misconduct allegations against Diddy and is set to feature interviews from some of his former colleagues and employees, as well as some of his accusers. So the press release states, through these interviews and combined with a vast collection of our archival footage, The Fall of Diddy paints a holistic picture of a mogul who is alleged to have wielded his extensive power and influence to obscure for decades a pattern of abuse and violence that left an unprecedented amount of pain and suffering in his wake. Among those interviewed for the docuseries were Dee Woods, who is a member of Danity Kane, as well as several former employees who worked for the music mogul, including his former driver, who alleges that Combs once tried to bribe him. Also interviewed are 2 of his accusers, Rodney Lil Rod Jones, who we've talked about, like his suit against Diddy, and Talia Graves, both of whom have sued Diddy, accusing him of sexual misconduct.
So obviously the Diddy story is huge, right? Everyone's talking about it. It's the biggest story of last year and probably this year. But something about a documentary that like really spells it out for people. Because, we're all reading the headlines and not a lot of us are reading, the entire lawsuit or the entire article. So I think that if this documentary, sometimes documentaries come out and they don't make waves, but sometimes
like
if they start
Nickelodeon.
Movements. Right. If it has that effect, like I think it'll be really powerful. And I also think it'll be really damaging for his case. Because like you have to think about people who watch that, like they become jury members,
Yeah.
Because I just watched juror number 2. I'm thinking a lot about juries.
Don't. I'm gonna watch it, so don't spoil anything about it.
Do you know what it's about?
No, and I don't want to know.
Good. I didn't know either, and like when I figured it out, I was like, are you kidding? It's really crazy.
But I do think like jury members who have seen something like this like wouldn't be eligible for a jury because they would be coming in with biases.
Yeah, but it influences, like, even if you haven't seen it, like everybody's talking about it, it's every headline, like it influences public opinion in a way or in some way.
Yeah, I do think like Diddy will hopefully like receive the justice that he deserves. But what like is a little frustrating about this case is like it's so much bigger than Diddy. There are so many people at every party. There are so many he's trafficking people to whom? To his powerful friends, who are people whose names we might know, we might be fans of, we might be buying their products, and they're horrible criminal people. And like
I know
we need to know more of like
blow it wide open.
Who worked with him, this is not something that one person does on his own.
No, it's true. Like we know Diddy is bad now and he's going to get the justice he deserves. Like no one's going to go into a room alone with him.
No one's advocating for Diddy. Like,
right. But now that's exactly what happened with Jeffrey Epstein. And we never got resolution, and it's so frustrating. And I imagine the two circles are connected, because it's the same group of people, like powerful, influential people with money, not just in Hollywood, but in politics and in business and world leaders, like Prince Andrew, like every possible sector that you can think of. So it is really frustrating. And that's not to discount like the allegations against him and the justice that we seek. But it's so much bigger than that. You're so right. And we shouldn't lose sight of the list.
So I hope that this documentary like names.
Yeah. But the thing is, like a network, like ID or Netflix, like no, you put yourself. Oh my God! Sometimes words just don't come to me. You make yourself a target, like legally, to make claims.
They did it with the Nickelodeon one. Like they were naming names. Dan Schneider, even though there wasn't like a serious allegation against him, like this was this pattern of behavior. It told a story. So
yeah.
And then also like when Drake Bell shared what happened to him, like he's naming names.
Yeah, but that guy's already in jail. Brian Peck. Like, so.
He is?
He was in jail, and then remember he got rehired by Disney after going to jail for like child stuff.
Right. But where is he now? Is he dead?
Did he die?
It's feeling dead.
Hopefully. I don't know. Like it's a tough spot, I think, for someone to take on.
Yeah, but I think that will make the difference of like how much impact this documentary has. Is it new information, or are you just like packaging it together for someone who's not reading everything and doesn't really know what's happened?
Because there have been like whispers about certain celebrities, and I think the only other actual accusation that was made was Jay-Z, which, by the way, I was watching Beyonce's halftime performance, which I just really enjoyed. I have like beautiful things to say. And as I was watching, I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot. Because I don't really think of her and like Jay-Z so much anymore. I feel like they like kind of live separate lives. But like that's literally her husband.
Yeah.
And like he was literally accused of like raping a 13-year-old. And it's just like, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
So we'll see if this blows the case wide open.
Yeah. I just feel like we've like barely scratched the surface. And I'm not like so excited about just a surface scratch. Like there's a lot of bad, nefarious behavior in this town. And like, do you want to do something about it or do you not?
Yeah, and I feel like there's actually so many similarities to Jeffrey Epstein, because like now any picture Diddy has with a celebrity, it's like, look. And that happened a lot with like Ghislaine Maxwell.
I don't care about a picture that anyone
No, and I think a lot of people went to Diddy parties and they were upstairs being normal, having, doing cocaine and drinking champagne, not downstairs trafficking kids. Like,
right.
So anytime there's like a picture, it's like, look, he's bad. Or same with Ghislaine Maxwell. They were like, look, Carol Radziwill knew Ghislaine. Like, no, you just have a picture with these people.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, it's getting lost. And you're right. I totally even forgot about like the network behind him.
Right. Like, and you need people to traffic too. It's not just him.
Behind every powerful trafficker, there's like a network of individuals making it happen.
No, and a network of individuals who are his clients.
Well,
that was
yes,
the craziest thing about like Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine. They're like arrested for human trafficking, and there's no one who did they. Then it's like, okay,
the customers
keep going. one step further.
Follow the lead.
Right. But like these people are still in their own way protected. And it's just frustrating.
Yes, it really is. It's a good point. And it's also so crazy to think about the fact that like P. Diddy, like we keep talking about him, he's like literally in jail. Love that.
Yeah.
But it's just, he's literally in jail.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Where he should be.
Lock him up. Mm-hmm. Throw away the key. That's our show. Good stories today.
Yeah, I thought so.
For sure.
Little mix.
Have you thought at all about who you're going to make your Queenie and Weenie?
Little Mix. I'm going to make my Queenie Little Mix. I actually have not thought at all about who I'm going to make my Queenie and Weenie. Have you?
I've like weirdly been thinking about it, yeah. And I come up with nothing.
Interesting. I got to get my notebook out. I should start nominating people like throughout the week. Like, oh, that was Weenie behavior.
Nom.
Yeah.
I love that.
The Weenies. It is award season.
It is. And the toast, as usual, is on trend.
For the Toasties. We give out Queenie and Weenie. And that about sums it up.
Pretty much. That's our show, you guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Toast and Monday Morning Show, where we deliver the fast 5 stories you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. We are also available as a podcast, and our podcast can be found. So it's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iHeartRadio, Castbox, all the places. Wherever you listen to podcasts, find us, the Toast. Leave a 5-star review about how beautiful, of course, stunning, classic, and most importantly, wickedly talented we are.
Love ya. Bye.